Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and everything in between. If you haven't already, go ahead and take a second and subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Invite your friends over. I'm starting out a new series on my channel on Friday nights where I list free resources for recovery help. And also, we're going to start going through the steps. I'm going to help, explain some things to you and just give you guys a better understanding of what I've learned from the 12 steps, and maybe it'll inspire you. Let me get my bottle of water filled up, and then we're going to do this together. Hey guys, I'm sorry about that. It started buffering out of nowhere. So what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys can see me. Let me know if I'm clear, if it's buffering. I hope it's not buffering, but it's really windy outside, so it might be. So okay, so I wanted to talk about surrender today, you guys. Surrender and acceptance. Okay, good deal. Thanks, Bama. Hey, Jamie, this is free of charge. You ain't got to pay me nothing for this information. It's fixing, you're going to get some good information here, you guys. This is all stuff that my sponsor taught me. As you can see, this is my big book, okay? And this is all the little tabs that I have marked in it. And it's all highlighted and underlined and all the things that I learned. I always highlight, underline them, circle them. Period, dot, explanation point. Like, I really try to, I got little notes in here on the front of my book. Here, I'm going to read you guys some of the notes that I have. So it looks like my old, okay, so I wrote my sobriety date here. It says July 13th of 2015. And then underneath that, it says, play the tape all the way through. And then it says consequences, losing Neil and losing Nathaniel. And then it says Nicole's rock bottom, losing my family. And then someone signed my book and they said, hope instead of dope. Love you, sis. And then I have written over here on the other side, I have written AA is a program of actions, not intentions. Oh my God, I'm so glad I just see that. This program is a program of action. You can have the best of intentions to do the right thing, to get out and try to change your life, but unless you're taking action, all it is a bunch of this, And I know, you guys, because all I used to do was a bunch of this. And that's why I struggled for so long, because I would never pull the trigger on my recovery. Like, I always was holding on to some part of my old lifestyle that I felt like I couldn't let go of, whether it was my old friends, maybe an old job, maybe a boyfriend. I just never let go of those old people, places, and things, So talking the talk and walking the walk are two separate things. And what I've learned from working the steps with my sponsor is that, refraining from drugs and alcohol, that's the part, that's the easy part, you guys. Working in the 12 steps is an internal, it's you going on in the inside. It's you diving deep into who you are as a person and laying out those character defects, laying out the flaws, the things that you're not proud of, and then laying out the things that you do love about yourself, and trying to highlight the good things and trying to work on the things that you're not so proud of, And I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I used to be a really big people pleaser. When I first got sober, for the first year, I couldn't tell anyone no. I would tell everyone yes. Oh yeah, I'll do that. Oh, go to a meeting? I'll be there. Oh, coffee? Yep, I got you. Oh, I'll make a lasagna for the cook. cookout, sure. And I would make all these plans with all these people, right? And then I wouldn't be able to follow through with the plans. And so I got this reputation as Nicole's not going to follow through. She says yes to everything and then she doesn't follow through. So I remember, calling my sponsor because a lot of my friends were getting angry with me because they were like, yo, you said you would come, you said you would come do the step workbook with us last night and you never came over, or you called at the last minute and canceled, right? And so I was like, and then my girlfriends, because they're also in recovery, they brought that to me, right? And they were like, Nicole, we love you, but we see you taking on too much. And then what you do is you don't follow through with us, and we're your real friends. We're the friends who want you to stay sober. We're trying to help you. And so Cindy, I didn't know how to tell people no, because I wanted everyone to like me. Okay. And I went through that stage the first year of my recovery, being so afraid to speak my truth, to speak what I believed in, because I wanted everyone to like me and I wanted validation. I didn't need it, because even though I was in my addiction for many, many years, I'm a pretty strong person. You know what I mean? I didn't need people to validate me, but I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? And so what I've learned through working the 12 steps is that I have to set boundaries with people. I have to only take on what I can take on. And I'm not Superwoman. It's really important for me to make sure that I'm working on self. Because when I think that I've got everything figured out and I don't need to work on me anymore and that I know it all, which y'all, the only thing I'm teaching you guys and sharing with you guys is information that I've learned from my sponsor, and from her sponsor. And I'm learning new stuff every single day. I learn about myself a lot. For instance, I pride myself, right, on doing the right thing, because for so many years, you guys, I did the wrong thing. It's okay, Robbie. I figured you were working. And so now that I've been practicing doing the right thing, I'm very much a stickler for following through with the things that I say I'm going to do, like coming on here and doing a live stream with you guys, or answering the phone when somebody's going to call me. You know what I'm saying? And Robbie, I'm not talking about you. We just happen to be talking about how I used to not follow through with stuff. And so that's the thing. I really, really work hard, you guys, on trying to bring truth with love to everybody here in this recovery community. And I know that some of you guys came here because I was trying to bring the truth with love to some other people here in the community. And I just want you guys to know that I'm always only trying to help. Hey guys, hey everyone. And I only have care and love and concern in my heart for other recovering addicts and also the still sick and suffering addicts. And that's why I'm working really hard on trying to zero in on one topic for you guys and bring you some good information. So that's what I want to talk to you guys today. I want to talk about step 1 and how it was really important for me to take step 1 all the way, because for so many years, you guys, I would go through the first 3 steps with my sponsors, because I've had several different sponsors, really quickly. And then I would relapse, by the 5th or 6th step, I would relapse, okay? And what I was doing wrong was I wasn't taking step 1 all the way. And what I mean by that is Step 1 is we admitted we were powerless over drugs and alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. I say drugs and alcohol because I'm powerless over both of those things, y'all. I can't drink. I'm an alcoholic and I'm an addict. So it says we. So first thing in the first step is we. It doesn't say I admitted. It says we admitted. You know why it says we admitted? Because this program is a program of togetherness. You can't work the program by yourself. You got to have somebody to guide you through. So it says we admitted, we were, and so past tense were. I have power today over the choices I make. I don't have to go out and get high today. Today I can make good choices because I'm not putting substances in my body. When I put drugs and alcohol in my body, what happens? That's when I lose the control. That's when we go on that vicious cycle. You know what I mean? So we admitted we were powerless. Okay, so I think a lot of people they think of powerless and they're like, oh, no, I'm not powerless. I got control. Let me just tell you guys, because I was the same way. I had to relinquish that control. I had to finally come to terms and look at my life and look at the unmanageability of my life that these substances caused. Because when I don't have stuff, when I'm not high, I can do pretty good. When I'm not high, I can work a job. When I'm not high, I can take good care of my family. When I'm not high, I pay the bills. When I'm not high, I can go out and wash my car and not running into a brick wall. You know what I'm saying? So the powerlessness isn't saying you're weak. It isn't saying that you can't do. What it's saying is that when we put drugs and alcohol into our body, we are powerless. So in order to gain power, we have to abstain from those drugs and alcohol. Exactly. And so admitting and acceptance, I feel like they go hand in hand with each other, right? So when we admit the thing, I feel like right after admitting, acceptance comes right behind that, right? So I feel like if we don't admit and then we don't accept, because the acceptance comes right behind it, then we kind of get left in limbo. So I want to kind of explain to you guys what it was like for me to accept that I was powerless over those drugs and alcohol. Okay, when I finally came to terms with the fact that I cannot use drugs and alcohol, and that when I do, my life goes to shambles, it was like I was mourning the death of my best friend. It was like I was losing I don't know how to explain it, my edge. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to have fun again, right? I'm never going to be able to let loose and, I don't know, be cool. It was just this whole, it was like this thing in my mind, you guys, that it was like a mirage. Do you know how you want to see a mirage out in the distance and you think it's water? Like when it's really hot outside and you're driving in your car and you see the mirage on the road. That's what drugs and alcohol do. They put that mirage out in front of you and you're running over there and you're fixing to jump in the water and then bam, it's asphalt. That's what drugs and alcohol are. It's like you think everything's going to be good and you're going in there and then all bam, it ruins everything. So for me, accepting, what I did was I wrote a letter. You guys, this is so cool. I'm so excited I get to share this with you guys. Okay, so I wrote a letter to methamphetamine, okay, because methamphetamine / Roxy, because my sponsor was like, pick your drug of choice, and I couldn't pick between the two because I just loved them both so much. So I wrote a letter to methamphetamine and Roxy, and I told them, or those drugs, I wrote this letter saying how they made me feel and how I felt like they took everything from me, and I wish that I had never tried them, and that I was never ever going to talk to them ever again. You know what I mean? Like a breakup letter to these drugs. And I know that might sound like trivial, but it wasn't about the letter. It was about the act of letting go of those drugs. Do you know what I'm saying? It was the fact of parting ways and distancing myself from those. It was almost like, I hear a lot of people talk about energy, okay? And how negativity, when my friend Rockin' Roberta talks about this a lot, how when negative energy, it gets on you and it's like real sticky, and you like try to fling it off and it's still on there, like if you step in a thing of gum and it sticks to your foot and you try to pull it up and the gum is still there, right? That's what drugs are like. It's like this sticky feeling, you can't just get them off of you. So admitting and accepting that I could no longer, do those things was a life-changing experience, okay? But I had to go through it. At first I freaked out. Let me tell you guys what happened. So I was at a step meeting, okay, with my sponsor and my sponsor. And my sponsor was doing the reading. We were going through the steps in the book, reading the chapters together, all that stuff. And she was talking about powerlessness over the drugs and the alcohol. And I remember sitting there and I just started bawling because I finally got it. I finally understood what everybody was talking about. I'm not weak. Us drug addicts, we're some of the strongest willed, most strong people I've ever met in my life. It's not because I'm weak. It's because those substances, when they mix with me, it's like I have allergic reaction to them, And so I remember I was hysterical. You guys can ask Neil. We were inside this big, beautiful, like historic downtown Little Rock house. And it was like a lawyer's like office building, but it was a big house. And it had like all these, anyways. It was just a cool house. I remember sitting there at the table and just crying and sobbing my eyes out because I was like, I understand. Like, I'm powerless over drugs and alcohol, and I can't put those in my body anymore. And when I could get past the point, right, that I understood that and I believe that in my core, you guys, 100%, that if I go out and I pick up Xanax, heroin, cocaine, I know what will happen. I know that it will take me down so quick. And the way I think about it in my mind is that, you know how you hear people say, like, I don't have another relapse in me. That's how I look at it. I don't have another relapse in me. I don't want to die, and for those of you that are on medically assisted treatment, and when we taper off of our medically assisted treatment, I've been praying a lot about it, and I've been talking to other people about it. And I know that there are going to probably be changes in my brain. And I promise I'm going to share every bit of that with you guys, because I want y'all to know exactly how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. So that way we'll be ready. Together we'll be ready. Okay. But I know today that by working with my sponsor, you guys, and going to meetings and learning and reading this book, I've learned so much about new ways to cope with what I feel and new ways to fight off my addiction, my diseased brain. I knew that my life was unmanageable a long time ago. I think the first time I ever realized that my life was unmanageable, let me think. The first time I ever realized my life was unmanageable. I got you. The first time I ever realized that my life was unmanageable, that I really, really knew, whoa, this is fucked up, was when I was working at the Department of Finance. I was dating that guy, LD, and we were living in this little one-bedroom efficiency. And we were sleeping on a mattress that had been used by hookers and pimps and all kinds of people. And you could hear little rats and little cockroaches running around at night. And I thought, I wasn't raised like this. I'm better than this. And that's when I knew I've got a problem. But that, you know how long ago that was, you guys? I think I was like 24 and I'm 36 now. That was 12 years ago. It took me 12 years of realizing that my life was unmanageable for me to finally hit rock bottom. And then my parents didn't enable me at all. Like, they pulled the carpet out from under me and kicked me out, you know? Prayers. Thank you, Nicole. I'm afraid of tapering out. I'm only on. Christy, you take your time. Listen. So for my girls that are on mat, you take your time. 10 days, girl, you just began the journey. You stay on that for if I was okay, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but I'm just going to tell you guys what happened for me. The first year I was on Suboxone, I was learning about myself. I was getting my fines paid. I was working to get my son back from DHS custody. I was working on buying a car. I was getting a job. I was getting a place to live. Then the second year of my that I was on Suboxone, I was just starting to like really dig inside myself, started being in therapy and going to therapy once a month. And I kind of was back and forth. Like, I was my second year, I was fighting with myself. Like, should I jump? Should I get off? Then my third year, because I'm on 3.5 years, was this past year that I started my YouTube channel, and I really started venturing out and seeking support from other avenues besides AA and NA. Because don't get me wrong, you guys, I love AA and NA. But I'm a mom, I have a kid, I'm at home a lot with my son, and so I needed a way to reach people that were like me from the comfort of my home. So here I am. And that's why I started this channel, girls, because I wanted to be able to connect with you guys who are like me. And yeah, like Christy said, you just take your time. This is how my doctor explained it to me. He said, you are going to know when you're ready. And you might not ever be ready. And that's cool too. You guys, it really doesn't matter. It does not matter. There's no finish line to recovery. I promise you. There's no, I've gotten to this point and now I know it all. We are always learning. We are always growing in our recovery. I'll tell you, recovery is like this. It's like taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Then 2 more steps forward, then 1 step back. It's just like you're inching along, you guys. There's no end to it. It's 1 day at a time. So whatever you have to do your 1 day at a time, it doesn't matter. Okay? Don't let anyone shame you for any choice that you make. I love the program of AA, but this stigma that recovery is a one-size-fits-all and people have to just do AA or NA, just abstinent, it's gone. It's a idea of yesterday. We're in a new age today, you guys. There are new drugs out there. There's all kinds of things that are different from back in the 1930s. Okay? So that's why I always say, like, get in a program like Alcoholics Anonymous or Celebrate Recovery or Refuge Recovery or Smart Recovery along with your mat, okay? So that way you've got 2 programs. And also get yourself involved in some therapy. It helps so much. It helps so much. So, what? What, Neil? Okay. So, you know what I think happens to a lot of us, you guys, when we are starting out and we're first trying to get our lives together. That's cool, girl. You just take your time. You just get there when you can. So surrender to me is when I finally was like, yo, like, I need help. I can't do this alone. Okay? Should I be honest? Christy, the only person that you need to tell that you're on medically assisted treatment is your doctor, and if you feel comfortable, your sponsor. But you don't even have to do that, because in my experience, this is an honest program, okay, guys? And Christy, if I was going to tell you which program to go to, I would recommend you go to AA. Because a lot of people in Narcotics Anonymous are very judgmental of people that are on medically assisted treatment. If you live in a larger city, there are groups called Medically Assisted Recovery Anonymous. No, when you go to your first one, no. You just go in and say, hey guys, my name's Christy and I'm an addict. That's it. Oh yeah, Bama, you just do what you have to do. So here's the deal. So when I finally surrendered, okay, guys, okay, Shanna, that's a good idea. Let's have a moment of silence for the still sick and suffering and for the bad tornado weather that's coming to Alabama. Right, guys? Okay, here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Okay, so I think whenever, here's the thing, here's the deal, girls. If you guys are on medically assisted treatment and you're seeking help, it shouldn't matter where you go and who you tell, okay? But there are people out there who judge, okay? So I want you to be prepared for that. All right? Only your sponsor needs to know. There you go, Avalon. Avalon's, I agree with that too. So you don't want to be like me, you guys. This is what I did. I went around telling everybody that I was on Suboxone, and then I got so much backlash, it almost caused me to go back out because I was so hurt by people that were just dogging me out. I mean, you guys saw it, like, because of this little back and forth with that other channel that I will not say their name. I had people coming over from his channel saying, you're not even sober, you're still on drugs. And that's always what people do. That's the first thing they resort to, is tearing me down. But you guys, I know the girls on here, my ladies, understand what I'm going through. Like, as women, and we have children, and we're like, a lot of us still have to go to work. We still have to take care of our kids. Some people don't have the luxury of stopping what they're doing for 30 days and going to a rehab. So being able to get on medically assisted treatment, I've seen it save so many women's lives, you guys. So all I can tell you is to take your time and to not worry about what other people think. Oh, what was I going to tell you? I was going to do that. Okay. Okay, so I'm not I've seen people trying. Ugh, Heather. But you know what? Here's the thing. Whenever someone judges me, you guys, this is what I think, okay? And this might help y'all too, because I know a lot of y'all might be going through it also, so I'm going to share with you guys. When someone's taking the time to judge my recovery, then that means that they're not paying attention to their own. And so you know what I do? I just pray for that person. Because if they're too busy pointing their fingers at me, y'all know the saying, when you're pointing your finger at somebody else, there's 3 more fingers pointing back at you. So while you're busy rubbernecking looking at me, you better watch out, because you're fixing to check yourself before you wreck yourself. So that's why I just like, and it's a humbling experience being on medically assisted treatment, because, basically, by getting on it, what I'm admitting is that I need the extra help, and so I think it's funny how a lot of people think that we don't know that we are needing the extra help. And you know what, Heather? The more time you put in between, the more time you put between yourself and your drug of choice, the easier it's going to get. But what you have to do is you've got to start putting some practices. They're called good practices into action. Okay? So you need to start making yourself a schedule. And this goes for everybody right now. If you're coming up off a relapse or you're struggling staying sober, whether you're on maintenance or you're not, the things that you can do to help yourself succeed are set yourself up some good practices. Okay, so what I would do when I first started out was I would get myself a sheet of paper and I would write down all the hours in the day. Okay, like literally, and I would write down from the time I woke up to the time I got to bed. Okay, and then I would fill in each hour what I was going to do. If I woke up at 8 and I was going to have breakfast from 8:30 to 9:30, then I wrote that down. If I was going to do my meditation and my prayers from 10:30 to 11, I wrote it down. Okay? If I needed to get a meeting in that day, I wrote it down. I didn't leave myself with any large gaps of empty time. Because when you do that, what happens? That's when our mind starts wandering. That's when our little devil's playground up here starts clicking. And that's when those thoughts can come in. When we don't have anything to do, because boredom is a huge trigger. You know, a lot of us got out there and got fucked up because we was just kicking it. We're just bored, you know, let's go kick it. And so set yourself up for failure. Set yourself up for success. If you don't set yourself up for success, then you're going to set yourself up for failure. So plan for success. So plan out your days. And then once you start practicing those things every single day, you won't have to write it down anymore because it'll be a working part of your mind. It will become a habit. And so you'll wake up, you'll hit your knees, you'll do your prayers, you'll thank your higher power, you'll do your meditation, you'll watch your girl Nicole on a live stream. Hey! Do you know what I'm saying? And Heather, I'm serious. Like, when my counselor told me that I needed to write down everything I was doing by the hour, I thought she was psycho. But I'm telling you right now, it has changed my life. And it has helped me to get my ass on the right path. And so now I have this habit of doing these things every day that have helped me, you know? So Cindy just brought up, she says, I started journaling too, and it helps a lot. So for instance, there's a lot of things like what we're doing right now is something that I usually do at night by myself. I'll come home, I'll get Nate settled down watching the tunes or something, and then I'll read out of the big book. I'll read some of the stories in the back, or I'll do a meditation. Like you guys have seen my mindfulness meditation booklets, or, you know, and those meditation books, they give me like ideas of ways for me to slow down my mind and slow down my thinking and just be right there in the present moment. Because I don't know if you guys have the same problem, but what I do is I project myself into the future a lot, right? I will say, you know, I'll project myself into tomorrow or next week or a year from now. And what I'll do is I'll be worried either about how I'm going to stay sober for the next year, which, what am I doing? Who worried? That is too long. That's so far away, you know, and that was causing me so much anxiety. So I bring myself into the present, and that's what I do for mindfulness. Yeah, and so that's what Heather, that's a really good point too. So a lot of us struggle with dual diagnosis where we have a mental illness and we also have the disease of addiction. So if you do struggle with mental illness, you guys, and you haven't got it looked at, you haven't went to the doctor, you haven't went to therapy, you need to get that checked out, because what can happen is your mental illness can cause you to relapse, can cause you to self-medicate, you know? So if you're not all right up here, then you're not going to be okay anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? So if you're struggling with mental illness, you've got to get yourself a doctor's appointment. I'll tell you, is it freezing? Okay. I'll tell you what the hardest thing for me to do when I first got sober was to make doctor's appointments. And I was afraid to make doctor's appointments because I don't know, I guess I was afraid of what I was going to find out. And I ended up finding out that I have hepatitis C. And I remember when I first found out, I thought I was going to die. And I was so scared. But I'm glad that I found out because now I can get it fixed, you know? But for me, like making doctor's appointments and doing things like that it was so hard for me, you guys, because in my addiction, I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't pay rent. I didn't have a checkbook. I didn't balance my bills, right? I was just like, it was hard, you guys. I was just a mess. So when I got sober, it was like learning how to be a grown-up all over again. And you guys might be experiencing that too, like learning to, like I said, balance your checkbook, pay your bills, and do all these things. It can seem so overwhelming, but you're not alone because I've been through it. Bama's been through it. Shauna's been through it. We've all been through it, y'all. I love it, Shauna. I love it. I love this. I think this is great. I think it's great. But and then if you guys have kids, right? Because I was scared, Cindy. I was the same way, girl. I was afraid. I was afraid to go and find out all these horrible things because I just knew that, you know, I knew I had hepatitis C. I just knew it. But I thought worse than that. I thought I was going to find out a lot worse. But then the first year, I would say the first 2 years of your recovery, you guys, is crucial. It's crucial for you to set yourself up and make that schedule and get your habits, get yourself focused on making the right choices and practicing those good practices. And I promise you, if you do that, you'll be successful. And I promise you, if like one of the hardest things for me was letting my guard down, letting it down, opening myself up and being vulnerable and asking for help. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always so afraid that if I was vulnerable, that was a sign of weakness, that I was showing the side of me that people were somehow going to take advantage of, right? But I don't regret any of it because I've gotten so much of the best help because I finally let my guard down and started reaching out for help, being vulnerable and just sharing my 100% truth, you know? And the response that I've gotten from other people who are just like me, that's exactly why I made my channel, you guys, was so I could get in contact with girls that are like y'all, who are like me. You know, it's like, I don't think you guys understand how amazing this is for me. Like, I love this. And I just want you guys to get to a point where you guys can feel like you're making good choices and you're strong in your recovery. Hey, Carrie. And you feel good about like the habits that you're building. Like, I want all of you guys to get there too, you know? But I know, listen, I'm telling you, I struggled with relapsing for years. Back then, I didn't know what Suboxone was. So I would just relapse and be gone for like 3 years. You know, I would go back out and then I would never come back to the program. But this is how it was for me. I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And like I said in my video earlier, I went back and forth so much, y'all, and they never turned me away. They never told me I couldn't come and be a part of AA. And I'm glad you're reaching out too, Heather. I am so proud of you guys because I know that it can be really scary. And I promise you that I have nothing but the best of intentions. And I will show you that through my actions. Like Bama can tell you, You guys can message me anytime. You can email me. You can text message me on DMs on Instagram. Then we have a Discord set up, you guys. Let me see if I can. Hey, Bama, are you in that Discord over there? Can somebody share the Discord over here? Hey, Tanya, what's up? Welcome to the channel, girl. Hey, Chloe, what's up? Welcome, ladies. We're just talking about recovery from addiction and surrender and acceptance. So I guess the whole reason why I started this this live stream today is to talk to you guys about step 1. If somebody could share that link here in the comments, that would be so cool. So that way some of the other girls can go and get on there. Oh, Tanya, well, you're more than welcome to stay here, and you can email me anytime if you need to talk, and I will help you with anything you need. No charge, free, nothing, because that's just the way it is. And Tanya, I've been having a couple of moms come over who have daughters and sons who are in active addiction and who need support. So there's a lot of us here that are either in recovery or we are moms of recovering addicts. I am actually a recovering addict. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015. And I'm so glad that you guys are coming over and hanging out. But, so surrender and acceptance and taking the first step, which is, for those of you ladies who do not know, the first step is we admitted we were powerless over drugs and alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. And I'm talking about the 12 steps the 12-step fellowship, which I go to, which is AA. And so, but for those of you ladies who have daughters and sons who are in active addiction, there's always, help if you want to bring them into a meeting or they want to come to a meeting at AA or NA in your local town. All you have to do is Google it. Just type in AA and then your city name, and it will pop up and tell you where you can go. But you guys can also come over here. I do live streams every single night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we just talk about recovery from addiction and the struggles that I, as a mother who is in recovery from addiction, and I also have my husband who is in recovery. So it's kind of like a double whammy. I'm an addict, and I also love someone who is an addict. So for me, that has been loving someone who also has an addiction and me getting sober and then seeing him struggle a little bit. I can totally relate to you moms who see us, your daughters and sons, struggle with addiction, because you just want to grab hold of them and save their lives. But I've got to tell you, moms out there, you can't save their life. Okay? They have to be, you can point them in the right direction. You know that saying that says you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Okay, you guys, this is the link to the Discord chat. Bama just linked it. So if you ladies want to click on that link, it'll take you to a private chat where you can hang out and chat with all of us girls. So, but like I was saying, the willingness to change and get sober for me, it came because I hit a rock bottom. I hit a place in my life where I knew if I didn't make a change, I was going to lose my son. Having my son taken from me, and I think I saw one of your mom's comment about having your grandchild. Having my son taken from me was the moment that changed my life forever. And I'm going to share with you guys about that because I think it's important, because I know there's a lot of you on here that have kids and that also that are moms. So when I gave birth to my son, I was under the influence, and God performed a miracle on that day right then. When I gave birth to my son, I was so high. The doctor delivered him, and he came out perfect. He came out clean. He had no drugs in his system. Right then, you guys, God performed a miracle. He showed me right then that he was waiting for me to come home. But I didn't. I got my son. I left the hospital. And I tried with all my might to stay sober. I white-knuckled it all on my own. I didn't ask for help. I didn't tell anybody I was struggling. I just tried my hardest to stay sober, right? Well, then I relapsed. And I stayed relapsed for the next year of my son's life. And then 2 days before my son's first birthday, my friend called DHS, which is the Department of Human Services or Department of Children and Youth Services, that, okay? So, when my son got taken from me 2 days before his first birthday, for me, that was it. That was the moment I knew that I was changing my life and that I was never going to go back to drugs. Or so I thought. My stepson was a heroin addict. He's in recovery now. That's right. So, for you moms out there who have children who are in active addiction and you have their kids right now, I can only imagine what it's like to have to take on your kids. Because for me, when my son was taken, my mom and dad lived in New York, so they couldn't take him. So for me, my son had to go to foster care. And that was even more of an incentive for me to get my life together. Because I was like, he's with strangers. I've got to get him back. I've got to, I can't leave him like that. I struggled the first 2 weeks that my son was taken away with Xanax. But then I got my balls busted. I got caught taking Xanax by my DHS caseworker, and I said, "What am I doing?" And I got right back on track, and I haven't looked back since. But I had to have my son taken. It had to happen like that, you guys, because if it hadn't, I wouldn't have gotten sober. Because I still was thinking I had some. I thought I had some kind of like. For me, it was like I just couldn't see how bad I was, But when Nathaniel was taken, I knew. I was like, this has got to stop, And then I'm going to tell you guys, like, the brain, after we do drugs for so long, our brains are chemically changed, okay? So what happens is it's going to take years for us all to get back in a chemical balance in our brains. So that's why I encourage you guys, if you're just getting sober and you're struggling with anxiety or like really bad depression, almost like post-acute withdrawal or postpartum depression, kind of like that, I encourage you guys to get into the doctor and get a therapist for real. Because for me, I needed help, and so my doctor put me on Lexapro and Wellbutrin, and it has changed my life because I needed that extra serotonin to help my brain, because my brain, it's wore out. It doesn't produce dopamine like a regular brain. It doesn't produce the feel-good feelings like a regular brain because I was shooting it with that dope so hard all the time. And what happens is your brain releases all those feel-good chemicals because you're using drugs. And so when you get sober, your brain doesn't know how to release the feel-good chemicals anymore. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? And so you're just like this, life sucks, And then the only way you feel like life doesn't suck is when you do dope or when you take a pill, So I had to, once I got my balance in my brain leveled out, I had to find purpose, you guys. And y'all are my purpose. Helping other people is my purpose. Giving back what was freely given to me by my sponsor in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous is what I'm trying to do now. I'm not anyone special, y'all. I'm just somebody who was sick and tired of living my life like that. And I wanted a new life. And I can tell you, the promises and the joy that I have today is not like any other thing. My life is so much better now. I don't have to do things that I don't want to do for drugs anymore. I don't have to hook up with men because I need drugs for free because I don't have any money. I don't have to steal anymore. I don't have to use my son as an excuse to get out of doing things so I can go get high. I can be present in my son's life and be a mom to my son now. And for the first year of his life, I couldn't do that. I stayed in a passed out tweaker mode all the time for the first year. And so the promises have come true in my life. I'm going to share with you guys the promises because I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. But when you get sober, the program of Alcoholics Anonymous teaches us that we causes the brain to stop making the feel good. Yes, Cindy, that's what I was just saying, girl. In the program, what they tell us is that once we get sober and we start working these steps and we start giving back and helping others and doing service work, they tell us that these promises will come true in our life, right? So I want to share with you guys the promises that have come true in my life. Okay. Okay. I know they're in here. It's just amazing. The things that will happen for you when you decide to change your life and get sober and actually stop thinking about just selfishly, because that's what we do, you guys. When we're in active addiction, it's not that we don't love our families. It's not that we, it's not that we would rather be out there doing dope than being with our families, or we don't want to take care of our children. It's not that, you guys. It's that we are controlled by the drugs. It's that we don't know any other way but to mask the pain and the trauma and the hurt that we feel inside. I feel like a lot of people, if they don't understand that addiction is a disease, what they'll think is, oh, well, this person, they just want to be out there doing that. They must be, they just trying to ruin their life because that's what they want to do, right? But I'll tell you, if I could go back and look, if I could change and look back on my life and make different choices than what I made back then, I promise you guys, I would have made different choices, but I don't regret the past, and that's another thing that they teach us in the program is that we don't regret the past. We use our past experiences, all those horrible things that I did in my active addiction. We use those past experiences to help benefit other people. So that way you guys, like right now, the way we're talking and you guys are going, yeah, I've been there. I've done that too. Oh, I feel like that. That's why we use our experience, because who else would you be able to learn from? If somebody came over here and was talking to you and saying, oh, this is how you get sober, and they had never gotten sober before, and they had never been through what you had been through, are you gonna be able to connect with them and hear what they're saying? Probably not. But because I've been through what you've been through, you can look at me and say, wait a second. She knows what she's been where I have been. She knows what I'm saying. I can relate to her. And when you relate to me, that is like, bam. Why can't I find this? You know what I'm going to have to do? I know what I'm going to do. Hey, Neil? Yeah. Will you bring me your phone? I just want to Google something real fast. I'm talking to my girlfriends. So, let me show you guys a picture of Nate when he was a little baby. That's Neil and Nate. That's my husband and Nate. And then this is another picture of Nate.
I'm probably going to just take Wednesday off instead.
Okay.
Well, because Chris was on schedule until 6 this evening. Like, she didn't plan ahead. She just asked if I could work Tuesday and didn't change anything else.
Okay. Let me look this up. I hope you guys, I'm so grateful for feeling almost everyone I know, including myself, is on it. Please talk to a doctor if you're super depressed or anxious. Oh, your quality of life matters. Yes, Carrie. And that's very important, I think, for us all to understand that, you know what? Being on an antidepressant does not mean that you're not in recovery. It does not mean that you're not sober. I've actually heard people say that before. And I'm like, you guys, God gave us sense, okay? He gave us brains to use. And if you're struggling and you feel out of sorts, especially if you've been off of illicit drugs for over a year and you're still struggling, go get yourself checked out. I'm not a doctor, but I'm telling you, I've been there and I had to do the same thing. So these are the promises. I don't know why I couldn't find these. Okay, are y'all ready? And I'm going to tell you all these. I'm going to tell you if I've experienced each one of these, okay? Okay. Okay, so here we go. Promise 1. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. And yes, that is exactly right. I feel like I have freedom from addiction. I feel like I have freedom from all the chains that used to bind me. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. What was I just talking to you guys about? We don't regret the past because we use the past to help other people. Number 3, we will comprehend the word serenity. And then number 4 is we will know peace. So let me share with you guys about serenity and peace. For the longest time, I used to think that those things were boredom. I would say, I'm so bored. I don't have anything to do. And you know what? It's not that I'm bored. It's that I don't have chaos and drama and drug addiction ruling my life anymore. I have peace and serenity and soundness of mind. Number 5, no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experiences can benefit others. No matter how far you went, it doesn't matter if you shot dope. It doesn't matter if you were a paper bag drunk. It doesn't matter if you like to snort cocaine. It doesn't matter if you've lost your kids. It doesn't matter how far down you have gone. That experience that you went through can help someone else recover, because when they hear you share your story, it gives them hope, because then they can see, wow, she's gone there and now look at her. The feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. The feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. So for the longest time, you guys, I used to feel bad for myself. And today, I finally realized that I had a pity party going on inside of my head. And that wasn't helping me recover at all. So since I've taken responsibility and I've owned the shit I've done in my addiction, now I can No more self-pity. I'm not useless. I can get out and help people now. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. So basically, we will stop just thinking about ourselves and we'll actually think about benefiting others. Number 8, self-seeking will slip away. So you guys would know what self-seeking is. Doing things that are only for yourself. Self-seeking, selfishness. Okay? Instead, what I do is I literally, this is what I do every night. When I come on here, you guys, and I do a live stream, I think, what is my motive? Why am I doing this live stream? Like tonight, my motive for doing this live stream was I was talking to Heather, Christy, and Debbie over in the Discord, and I was just talking to them, and they were telling me about themselves, and I thought, well, I'm going to go live at 6 because I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys and get to know more of you ladies. And so my motive there is to connect with you women and to, like, I want to lead you guys in the right direction. I want to help lead you so that way you can be leaders to help someone else. All right? I'm not trying to get you guys to like compliment me all the time or tell me how great I am. No, I just want you guys to help somebody else. Okay? So like I'm helping you and I'm showing you right now, you don't owe me nothing. You ain't got to do. All I need you to do is help someone else. Pay it back. Pay it forward. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. That is so crazy because my whole personality and perception of life has changed, you guys. Like, I used to hate waking up in the mornings. I used to think, oh my God, am I going to do this another day, right? And now I wake up and I'm like, gratitude is what I'm like. Thank you, God, for saving me. You spared me. He spared me so I could be here with my family and I could be here with y'all because I don't deserve this. I was horrible in my addiction. I hurt so many people and I hurt so many friends and I hurt my family. And I've been given a second chance to come on and share all these things so that way other people don't have to do the same thing. And I can only tell you that the feeling that I have because of that is gratitude upon gratitude upon gratitude. I am so full of gratitude for my life today because I just felt like for the longest time, I had no purpose, you guys. I had no clear-cut path. I was on a road to nowhere. And now I have a path and I can see straight ahead. And there's no trees in the way. There's no bushes in the way. Like I know where I'm going today. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. So economic insecurity is your money problems. And so like you'll be able to work a job and you'll be able to go around people and not be embarrassed or ashamed. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. And you know what, you guys, like for instance, like the situation with the other guy and his channel and all that stuff, like I normally wouldn't have known what to do. I normally would have been so afraid to say anything, right? But instead, like now, I know that doing the right thing and holding people accountable and it's, people might not always like what I have to say, you guys, but I promise you that they're going to respect me. And I promise you that I'm never going to lead you guys down the wrong path. Like I will lead you straight to the promised land, baby. I'm not going to take you guys off path. I realize my responsibility as someone with this little platform. I know my channel's not huge, you guys, but this is a platform. And I know that I have a responsibility and I want to, you know, I want to be able to carry the message of hope and be responsible with this platform and not just take advantage of people or lead them the wrong way. And then the last promise is we will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Woohoo! So every one of those promises, there was 12 promises, you guys. Every one of those promises has come true in my life today. And I've only been in recovery for 3.5 years. That's it. That's not a long time. I'm still brand new. And so if those things can happen for me in this short of a time, then they can happen for you too. All you have to do is take action. And if, my suggestion to anyone that's struggling with taking action, my suggestion is, if you've got some sober friends that live around you that are involved in AA or NA, hook up with your friends and say, hey, can I go with you guys to a meeting? If you don't have any friends that are like that, then grab your mom, grab your sister, grab your brother, and say, hey guys, will you come with me? I don't want to go in by myself. And sit in there, listen, learn, and at the end of the meeting, raise your hand and say, hey guys, my name's Nicole, and I'm looking for a sponsor. I'm telling you, it helped me so much. I would not be here today where I'm at if I hadn't had someone else helping me, because I didn't know how to make good decisions. I didn't know how to do the right thing. So my sponsor guided me, and she taught me how to do those things. She taught me not to make any big decisions my first year of recovery. My first year of recovery, you guys, I wanted to go back to college right away. Yes, Heather, it is right there, girl. It is at your fingertips. That is the truth. It is right there at your fingertips. All you got to do is grab it. You know what I mean? All you got to do. And that willingness is what's going to push you forward. I'm telling you, girls, I didn't have no willingness for the longest time. And I wouldn't do anything asked of me. And so that's why I struggled for so many years. Because my sponsor would say, that's Cindy, and that's right. This group, that's how a lot of people start out, Cindy, is that the group is their higher power because it's a power greater than you. And until you get comfortable, listen, I want you guys to know that my higher power is God, but your higher power can be whatever your higher power is. I don't want to ever offend or hurt anyone. That is just what it is for me, is God. But whatever yours is, you guys make it work, okay? Just make it work. And yeah, it's not unobtainable. I used to think the same thing. I used to think, okay, so the first sponsor I ever got, she had 5 years sober when I first started working with her. And for me, I would look at her and I would be like, 5 years? Oh my God, I'm never going to get to that, right? And look at me now. It has been 3.5 years since I shot dope. It's been 3.5 years since I drank alcohol, since I smoked weed, since I ate a pill, We can do this. But Heather, you've got to have support. You can't do it alone. And you don't have to do it alone. Why not have support? Why not have friends that can help you stay accountable? And now with the day and age of social media and all that stuff, you literally have us at your fingertips, y'all. You guys can come on here anytime, and then with the Discord, there's, like I said, you can go in there and it vibrates me every time I get a message. So I'll see y'all's messages. I might not get on right away, but I'll get on sometime during the day. So you guys are I really just thank everybody for coming and being active in the chat tonight. This just makes my freaking day, you guys. I love seeing all of you in here. And it really, really means a lot to me that you guys are here to just, take part in this with me and build this channel with me. And the respect that I've gotten from you guys in this comment section tonight has been amazing. Like, everyone has said good things. Like, I haven't seen one bad thing on the channel, on the screen, and that, like, this is what I wanted for my channel. This is what I wanted. I wanted to build a place where like-minded people could gather and we could all talk. And I know that y'all can't get on here and talk like on the camera, but where I could lead the discussion and then we could all learn something together. You know, and I'm learning from you guys too. Believe it. I know you're going, oh, whatever, Nicole. But I go through, after I get off here, I will read all the comments back. I will go through all my comments tonight and heart and respond back. And then I'll be on the Discord and the Hangouts chat talking to everybody. And it just helps me so much, you guys. It really does. And that's the thing, Christy, you can do this. And I'm going to talk to you when we get off here because I want, we need to work with Christy. We need to get you on a plan of action. We need to get you to pull that trigger and try yourself out a meeting because you can do this. And I think that you're on day 10. I feel like if we wait, hey, Mom. Hey, girls, that's my mom, Gina DeMeo. Say hi, everybody. I think that if we get you on a action plan, like pick a day this week to go to a meeting and we're just going to do it. Because I know it's like scary at first, but just if you'll just jump in head first, everything will work out. Oh, so tired.
That little boy wants you up there. He said, he's been wearing that.
What time is it?
Rag on his head.
What time do you have to be at work?
Huh?
Do you have to be there at 7?
I mean, I'm just gonna, it depends. If I go in 7:30, I'm gonna eat something real quick.
Okay. Hey, Mom. Okay. So, anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going to plan out a plan of action. If any of you guys need help making a plan, I'll help you. But you gotta contact me and let me know if you're following through. That's the thing. You got to be honest with me. If you're not honest with me, then it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys want me to help you with something and you want me to be your accountability partner and you check in with me and let me know when you do it, then we can do that and I will help you stay accountable. Yeah, Shareberry, you need to talk to your doctor, girl. If you're feeling funny, pause your taper and call your doctor. Hey, Sandra. What's up, baby?
How was I gonna work?
Huh?
Over there.
You want some medicine? You just had some? Oh, okay.
No, I didn't.
Hold on, guys. Nate wants to say hi. Nana's on here.
Mommy.
Say hi. Say hello.
I can't see Nana. Oh, why is Nana all the way down there?
Yeah. Nana, he saw your picture. Okay, ladies. So, I love each and every one of you. We had a good meeting tonight. We've been on here for an hour and 15 minutes. So, I'm going to jump off and meet you guys over in the Discord if you guys are going to be over there and get Nate settled down because he's not been feeling good. What are you supposed to do? Cher says, yeah, Cher, this is what you're supposed to do. Cher, you're supposed to pause your taper and call your doctor. Because if you're feeling too funny, then maybe you need to slow it down a little bit. Call your doctor and pause your taper. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're down to what right now? If you are down and you don't feel like you can go down any lower, then pause it. Pause it and then you can get back on track later on. And Chair Bear, can I ask you, why are you tapering off Xanax? Is it causing you negative? Are you having like problems with it? Yes, it can, Mom. That's right. Share Bear, I'm gonna message you on YouTube when I hang up here. Okay, ladies. Mom, we're gonna be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time if you want to come over and do the group with us. And ladies, thanks so much for all of you guys coming over and doing the meeting with me tonight. It was really great. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow evening at 6 p.m.